sabe, sobremesa, só foi spaghetti. Welcome everyone, welcome to your show, The Zone. Such an honor to be with you. C'est un privilège pour nous lancer ma voix. Actually, this month, it's October. Can you believe it? We are here in October. It is a blessing. I always believe that to be here. I know many of you lost the people, continue to lose many lives. However, I'm still here. I'm still standing. And I know, and I always say it is just a grace, just by the grace of God. So I'm really excited to be here to bring you a new show. And it's a new school year. A lot of people are coming in different school systems, trying to understand what is going on, what are the resources available to you. Tonight, this show is to share some information that will be helpful to you. See you soon.
Some sports are starting up again. Before returning to play, kids, coaches, and parents can follow these tips to protect themselves and others from COVID-19. Stay home if you're sick or have been around others who are sick. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol before and after practices or games and before and after sharing equipment. Keep 6 feet of space between everyone. This includes on the sidelines and in the dugout. Coaches, parents, fans, officials, and sports staff should wear a cloth face covering. Don't touch your cloth face covering. If you do, clean your hands. Parents, coaches, and sports administrators should decide if the kids need to wear cloth face coverings. It's most important to wear a cloth face covering when it's hard to keep 6 feet of space between people. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue or use the inside of your elbow. Don't spit. Bring your own equipment, like gloves and bats, if possible. Don't share towels, clothing, or any items used to wipe your face or hands. Keep your belongings separated from others, like your gym bag and equipment, when not in use. Avoid physical contact, like high fives, handshakes, fist bumps, and hugs. Let's start the season with healthy practices. For more information on what you can do to keep players and coaches safe, go to cdc.gov/coronavirus.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome to your show, The Zone. The Zone is here, and I know so many of you have been calling what's going on for this year. This year, we've been adjusting. I think that's the key word, the adjustment process. Mask or no mask, vaccine or no vaccine. So many things that we need to talk about. But today the show is going to be focusing on the International Creole Day, because this month is also National Creole Day. From September to October, we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. There are so much, and as well as bilingual. I didn't even know. Celebrate the Bilingual Child Month. So we are celebrating children who are speaking many languages. You will welcome what they are bringing to the richness they are bringing, and unique, rich culture that they are bringing, the food they are bringing, the art they are bringing, the languages as well. Because I know many of your parents, you have books in so many languages, and you think you have to speak English. Yeah, we are learning, but also we also bring something powerful. And we're also going to be, we might have an interview. Yes or no? Yes, we'll have an interview with high school students, telling them, we're going to learn how it is that he's trying to navigate in the school system. And after not going to school for at least a year, how hard or how easy it is for him to get to the program and understand that he has to go to school and follow through the same way. So it seems like we are learning so much. And you parents and children, you need to reach out to the principal, to the adjustment counselor in the school, because they are there to help you. They are there to support you. They are there to make sure that you succeed. And if you don't get the help, reach out to me, reach out to a friend. And I truly believe that it really takes a community, it really takes a village for us to see our children succeed academically. And as always, we always think of kindness is a key to all the hurt and challenges that we are facing. It is an exciting show. Can't wait. See you soon.
Here are AARP top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. As announced, I told you we're going to have a high school student. But you're going to realize he's more than just a high school student. Without further ado, Brendan Bailey. As announced, Brendan, I'm really happy that you're here. So
it's an honor.
Thank you so much for coming. So, you have not been going to school for at least a year and a half?
Yes, so back in my sophomore year, we got actually half a year. And then after that, we went online. So then I'd been online for pretty much almost 2 years.
Wow, so how was it to be online? And first, let's tell your name so you can see who you are, and then we'll go from there.
So I'm Brendan. I'm a high school student. I'm a senior, actually. I'm 17 and a half, and I go to Bridgewater Rainham Regional High School.
So, Brendan, so you just say to us, I mean, so many other students can relate to that, almost 2 years, were you ready to go online? I know the technology and everything, I mean, for you it might be a hard time, but for other parents and other people, how was it for you those 2 years?
So, when we first got out of school, it was definitely an adjustment, to say the least. I was not used to it. I feel like actually, throughout the time I was online, I didn't learn as good. Wow. I feel like that environment at the school with the classroom, with the teacher and all that made a big difference. But it was definitely something that was beneficial in some ways, and in some ways, not really.
So what are the benefits?
Well, definitely the one biggest benefit for me was not having to wake up early. I would have to just wake up, go in the classroom, and that would be it. I'd do my work in the day, and it was beneficial for me in some points. When I was doing a job, it would be more beneficial because I could do the work on my phone at my job. But in some ways, it was definitely not beneficial to not have that learning environment.
Or the interaction.
Yes.
I thought we all need that social skill.
You don't realize the social skills make a difference until you're not actually in the classroom.
But then again, you guys were... I need to give you credit, guys, because even though it was online and everything was new, the way that you were able to adjust with everything that was going on, I commend you for that.
Yeah, it was definitely something that was probably easier for people of my generation to adjust to because we use phones and computers and all that, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But social-wise, it definitely affects me, and it's just different not to be at a school.
Now, it's already 2 years already gone, right?
Yes.
COVID. So how is that experience now that you have to go back? I mean, either way, some people chose not to and they go virtual still. But how is your experience now?
In some ways, I do enjoy it. I actually enjoy being at school. Obviously, there's some things I don't enjoy, like having to wake up early and not being able to work in the morning and all that. But I do appreciate the school environment. I do appreciate being able to go to a class and see your teacher and be taught just the more old-fashioned way, the normal way. It was definitely different, though. I felt like, almost like I became more dumb. Like, when I went back to the school, it took me a little while to get a grasp of the ELA and the math. Now I'm fine, but the first few weeks at my school, it definitely felt difficult to adjust.
Wow, Brendan, I'm truly honored to see that it's okay for you to be vulnerable. It's okay for you to share with others the challenges that you guys are facing. And now, the advantage, I think you appreciate school a bit more, maybe?
Yes. When I went there for my freshman and sophomore year, I didn't appreciate the school. Now that I've been gone from it for almost 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have a better appreciation for the school.
As well as the teacher, I believe, because I think every teacher would like to say
Yes.
yes.
I definitely appreciate the teachers more as well.
So what are the, now that you're senior, I never really understand. I'm senior, that means that your last year
Yes.
in high school.
That means pretty much, and by next year, that's it. I'm out of high school, I can go work, go to college. So many options come my way, which it's crazy to think that. Like, it feels like I've only been there really for a year.
So do you feel that you're missing out, or you're just ready to go?
I feel like in some ways I did miss out on the high school experience. You know, I missed proms, I missed all that stuff that a high school student does experience. And it's different. You know, it's something that I have no control over. So it's kind of, I had to adjust to it. But I definitely realize now that that experience, I'll never have that. And in some ways I miss it.
So now you feel robbed from your high school.
Yes.
Yet it is time to move along, right?
Yeah.
So what are your fears really after graduation? Because you're just a few months away.
I definitely feel that I'll be overwhelmed when I finally get out of high school, and it's, well, what do I do now? I have to really think to myself, what do I want to do? Do I want to go to a college? Do I want to go to a job? And it's going to be difficult because I have to take some time to really think, what do I want my future to be?
So, then again, I think that we go to schools because this is where we are learning the basic skills, I think, right? To move along in life. And now you're telling me there are some of you, you're dealing with fears of not being enough or really ready to go to the next chapter in your life. So, what are the things that you think any child, any seniors or any freshman needs to survive really the high school life?
I think the best thing you can do to survive is try to get something out of high school. I went into high school and, I didn't really try to get something out of it. I went in my first year and my second year of high school just thinking, okay, I got 4 more years of school. I didn't really look at it as the experience. I didn't appreciate the experience. And now that I'm a senior, there's not much I got left to do. I can't do any sports now, and I just wish if I went back in time, I would do more of the after-school activities, the sports, all that, and try to involve myself in the school and make the most of it.
Do you think it's too late?
It is too late in some ways. For example, my sports teams are all booked. I can't get on them. And there's really not much after-school activity opportunities now because most of them are booked as well.
In terms of music or any enrichment?
Yeah, we have music and chorus and art and all these different programs, but they're all booked up. I can't do them.
Do you think having this show might help?
It definitely would help people who are just starting high school because they'll realize from somebody more their age that high school isn't really just you go there and whatever, it's high school. You have to actually look at it in more of a mature way and think, okay, what do I want to get out of high school? Because it's not about what high school is getting out of you, it's about what you can get out of the high school.
Well, I feel or I hear a lot of wisdom in the way that you talk. Even though it seems to me, or it is true that many of you missed out on so much, yet you seem very wise for your age. Where is that coming from?
Maybe just because I matured very early. When I was younger, I was very immature, but it feels like around the time I started middle school, I started to change. I started to become more understanding of everything around me. And now I just feel, like I said, with being out of high school for those 2 years, I have a better understanding of what the high school actually is instead of what I thought it used to be.
So for anyone, any boys or girls listening, going through that same experience, who have been out of school as well, what would you tell them? What would be the advice what would you share with them? What would be the advice to say, hey, you just finished middle school. It's going to be ninth grade. It's going to be ninth grade. It's high school.
Yes.
Okay. So what would be the advice? Either they can go to school, or because there are many reasons so many of us other students cannot go to school. What would be the advice for them? Not because you're an expert, just because you're coming from, you've been there, you went through a lot, and now what it is that you get out of it and that you would like to share with others?
My advice would be, when you go to school for your first 3 years of high school, try to involve yourself. There's plenty of sports activities, there's plenty of after-school programs and clubs, and there's ways you can just benefit your school and people at your school. You don't have to look at school like, okay, this is just some place I go to, and it's me and the teachers and the administrators. No, there's a whole school environment. There's your people, your peers, people in your grade, people in older grades. Just try to involve yourself. Like, try to get in programs and all that, and try your best to do good. I mean, I'm not going to tell you from first-hand experience that I did my best, but I recommend when you go to school, try to really focus on it. It can be difficult having to go through high school and having to get a change from middle school up to high school and have these different levels of teaching. It's definitely different, but you can do it. I was able to do it for the most part. I had my problems, but my biggest thing I would do is for sure improve my grades. And as well too, when you are in an older grade, like my year, the senior year, try to get scholarships. Anybody can get scholarships. Even I can. And that is what I recommend you try your best to do.
Listening to you made me also realize that you went through some challenges. Not just, the pandemic, but in terms of peer pressure. I know you had 2 years home, but the first year, I can only imagine, I didn't have that opportunity to go to school in high school in the U.S. However, listening to you, I think we all go through some challenges. When it comes to peer pressure, what was it to you when you went to school, and the challenges that you faced? How were you able to overcome them?
Yeah, it's definitely, peer pressure is a big thing in schools. I personally stayed away from it, and I tried my best to avoid it, but in some ways it does just become a part of daily life. There's different types of people at the school, and almost like different classes of people. You have the people who are more popular, who do the sports and all that, and who just get around and do their own thing. And then you have the people who are not really popular and nobody cares about. And in some ways, that's understandable, but that isn't the way that a school should be. You should care about everybody. People come from different situations. I know plenty of people at my school that are not in the same situations I am. And, we just try our best as people to involve everybody, not keep people out because we don't know them.
You're talking to me, I hear, you may not say it, but what I'm hearing inclusion. Why do you think inclusion is important?
Not many schools have that, especially people in our grades. We don't include people, and that's not the way it should be. We should all include people.
I can see you doing amazing things. Yet, Brenda, you told me you're not really sure what you want to do. So that year after high school, what are your plans really going to be focusing on?
I want to take a long look, but my plans in life is to do some form of public service, maybe as police, maybe as sheriff, maybe as security, some kind of defense. That is just the way I was brought up, and that is just the way that my family is. And me personally, I feel like that's what makes me happy. But I know that there's millions of jobs out there. You don't have to look far. All you got to do is walk down the street and go inside and ask for an application. It's really just a matter of what makes you happy, and you should strive to find what you think will make you happy.
What makes Brandon happy right now?
Right now, what makes me happy for sure is definitely making money. I have some jobs I do on and off, and I definitely try my best to make as much as I can. My biggest recommendation to people who do want to get far in life is you have to start early. I plan to invest in a bunch of different stocks and all that to make some money, and it's better you start young, especially with working. I started as young as I could, the age of 16. Nowadays, I've heard actually kids could start as low as 15, which is crazy because of the pandemic. But yeah, my recommendation is just that you start early, you get your license, your permit, all that, get it as soon as you can, and explore too. There's so much in the world you can explore. It's not just your town or your city. You can go and explore all these different places.
Culture.
Yes, different culture for sure. I was actually benefited that I went on so many vacations as a kid, and now as I get older, I start to understand that the world isn't just here. There's so much out there. There's different countries, different cultures, different peoples, and you don't have to look far. You can drive around your own town, and I'm sure there's different people within your town that have these different cultures in their lifestyles.
Yes, you travel, but what makes you open to that? Because I think there are kids like you living in different environments, yet they do not open themselves to accept or acknowledge things different. So what do you think makes you so welcoming of other cultures?
Maybe it's just, again, to do with my maturity, but I have a very open mindset. I realize that we're all people. We all have struggles. Nobody goes through life without having any struggles. Even the most richest of people, they have struggles for sure. Maybe not the struggles that you and I might have, but their own different struggles.
Friends and families, I think you will understand the reason that Brendan came to the show today and how it is such an honor to have him. He is such a mature, very composed young man that we met, and we felt that it could be beneficial for you and your family to listen where he's coming from. But also, he may not mention it that much. I think he did. It is the family that he was raised in. And I think he always talks about his mom and dad. He always talks about the way that they influence him. So kudos to your family, Brendan.
Thank you.
They did really good. And I wish you all the best. But also, I would like to say, what makes you sad?
I definitely think the thing that makes me sad most is just seeing people struggle in the world. Because there's not much we can do about it. We can try our best and our best, but there's always going to be people who just can't make it in life.
Wow. He's only, how old are you again?
17 and a half.
Oh, he said, well, he's not even half. They want to be old. So what is one thing that you're looking forward to in life?
I think the biggest thing that I look forward to is definitely just getting out there in the world. I mean, especially within my own country, America, there's so many different places that I've yet to explore. And my biggest plan in life is to see everywhere.
Wow. He's an explorer. I don't know what you're doing. He's decided he's not going to be playing video games all the time, but he's going to be out there, which is where the world is. Brendan, no words to thank you enough.
Thank you.
Such an honor.
It's an honor as well.
Of course. All right, guys, that will be it. I think we're going to see more of him. So, see you guys. Talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir et bienvenue par les créoles. Mais toute l'idée, c'est pour nous capables de célébrer, voici la qui passait entre nous, mais nous partageons la météo de la vie, nous puissons, ça dépend. Sous les mesures, ça fait un spaghetti. I know it is an adjustment process for so many of you. We have to go to school, you have to go to work. Is it safe or not? COVID is still around. We just need to know how to adjust. Are you taking the vaccine or not? Regardless of your position, we have to find a way to work around COVID. And as I said many times, it is an honor to be here. Being in the school system is not easy, and I understand parents are challenged on a daily basis on what is the right answer, because as parents we have a book telling us what needs to be done and how to help our children to be successful. But this month is actually International Korean Month. So there are so many things that we are celebrating in October. There is breast cancer awareness, there is bilingual children awareness. There are so many things that we are celebrating this year, and hopefully today we'll have an interview with one of the high school students telling us how is he adjusting with this new life, mask or no mask, vaccine or no vaccine, the age to take it or not. So basically, there are key important factors that I believe that it is important to focus on when you're sending your child to school as a parent and as a child. What are the expectations? First, I want you to know that you are not alone. It matters that you know that the questions that you have or the doubts that you may have, you are not the only one thinking what you're thinking. There are other parents struggling with this your school year. And the children also are dealing with it a lot. They are faced with many questions, and sometimes it's not the teachers who are going to give them the answer. The answer is going to come from you, parents. And if you don't have it, reach out for help. Ask, call me. As you know, I always tell you that my phone number is always here for you to connect, either for the school system or it is personal, that I'm also here to support you. And also, I think it's important that you understand there are resources in the community that you live in. There are always resources. I know I can talk more about the Brockton because I work in the system. I live there. I've learned a few things which I am ready and willing to share with parents coming in the school as well as living in Brockton. And if you're in Boston, parents are always telling them to reach out to Bodie Homisil. He's one of the parent engagement specialists as well, who's trying his best to connect family with resources in the community. And also, what are the workshops? Where are the proposals that you can also share with the school and tell them, those are the things that I need, those are the things that I struggle with. And every school, every year, always have a focus area or the target that they are focusing on. Some of them it's reading, some of them it's social skills, some of them is kindness. What it is that you want, that you know that your district is offering or the district is offering, it is important that you reach out to and ask for help. Counselors are in the school system, and I understand many of us as in the Haitian community as well, it is hard to talk to someone because we really believe that le linge sale se lave en famille, and we truly believe that we should take care of our business ourselves. Sometimes when it's so hard and we don't know what to do, it never hurts to say that I don't know. It never hurts to say that I need I need some help. And I think the school also needs to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to tell parents that we're not really sure what to do in this situation and welcome them. Actually, this year, it's a year of awareness. It's a year that they are celebrating all multilingual families, most likely those children who speak different languages. And the school system so many times, and for Haitian parents as well, or different, because I know this year we are celebrating, since September, decided to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, as well as, Haitian Creole, International Creole Month. So there are so many things happening, and I think in the school they need to be open to say, hey, your culture, your rich culture, I'll say, it's welcome. And it does not matter if you do not speak the language. You already spoke one or two or three other languages, and I know some of my friends will speak at least 4 other languages, yet they are still learning English. So I think as a school learn to be vulnerable, as a school learn to have an assessment and help parents understand that they are there to support them and welcoming them in the school, we will see our children academically will be able to be more successful. They will be more happy to be in the school. And as you know, we left the school, at least many of you left the school a year, 2 years ago, and you have not been there. Now coming back to the school requires some adjustments. And to do that adjustment, you cannot do it by yourself. You really need to rely on people who are in the school. And I know in Brockton we have parent advocates, we have parent engagement specialists, we have community specialists, we have social outreach, people who does just outreach. Mario Lamar, I know he's there to support people who need it. You have issues, and we learn through COVID that so many people are dealing with the insecurities when it comes to food. And there's Janice Johnson Plummer who's there to support parents applying for DTA or the EBT card. There are so many things that are available to us unfortunately, because we don't ask the question or we don't know who to talk to, we are missing out. Hopefully this year, we're not going to miss out. We're going to reach out and ask for help. And as usual, if you need me, you can always call me 774-517-7081. For those people, for those of you who live in the Brockton